Taylor Swift has been making headlines for like a month now, and in that time we've learned some pretty juicy secrets that we gotta share. Welcome to Beyond the Screen. I'm Nate, and these are the top 10 Taylor Swift secrets being exposed right now. Number 10, do not come. As many may know, in the past couple of weeks, Taylor has been spotted at more and more Chief games, cheering on the Kansas City Chiefs alongside Travis Kelce's mama, who you would think an enthusiastic and energetic crowd member would be a nice addition to the game and welcomed by the players. Well, apparently not Taylor. In the last couple of weeks, a trend has been flooding the internet of people trolling their boyfriends by claiming that Taylor Swift made Travis famous. On top of the annoying amount of content based around that, Taylor has been seen regularly attending the games with a lot of attention being put on her instead of the actual game. You know, cameras zoom in, fans cheer for her instead of the players, but the team seems to be turning this into a motivational thing as they have won every single game that she's attended so far, which is why several football players for the Philadelphia Eagles have started begging Taylor to sit out their game versus the Chiefs. One player, Eagles quarterback Darius Slay, mentioned Taylor during an episode of his podcast, Darius's Big Play, and jokingly told Taylor not to be present when they visited the Chiefs on their home turf. It seems that Taylor is their good luck charm and everybody knows it. Their next game is scheduled for October 9th, going up against the Minnesota Vikings, so fingers crossed she comes to that game and keeps this streak going. Number 9, mama drama. Throughout a ton of this Travis and Taylor drama, there's been one woman by her side through most of it, and that is Travis's mom, Donna. Donna was recently interviewed by the podcast Got It From My Mama and explained that spending time with Taylor Swift has felt like being in an alternate universe. She was mostly just surprised and excited by all the hype surrounding her son and his possible new relationship with Taylor. Every week the hype gets bigger and bigger, but what Donna doesn't remember is that Taylor has a long history of chilling with her boo's mamas. In the past, she's been seen living it up with Joe Alwyn's mom, who she was with for over 6 years. She spent a ton of time with Joe Jonas's mom, even though their relationship was pretty short, so if anything, Donna should be nervous. The more time this woman spends with you, the more likely it'll be that she breaks your son's heart and then writes a song about it. Chief of My Heart, Kansas City Chameleon, You Suck! Those are just some of the titles, just some ideas for Taylor in case that actually does happen. Number 8, running for president. Now, this entry is a little bit recent and it just popped up in the news cycle. It hasn't been confirmed as really happening yet, but is pretty neat and I thought we should talk about it. The United States may still be a year away from electing a new president. Sure, Joe Biden might get another term and serve a full 8 years, but not if Taylor Swift has anything to say about it. The former director of strategic communications for the White House, Elisa Griffin, was speaking with The View Behind the Table, which is a podcast, when the topic of Taylor Swift and Travis came up. Now, Elisa was pretty excited to talk about the situation with them, but then shared some information on Taylor regarding political stuff. She claimed that if the country wanted to see Donald Trump stay out of the office, that the only smart move may be to throw Taylor's name into the running. As pointed out by several of my co-workers, Swifties make up like over 50% of the country, so the moment that her name appears on the ballot, she'd win in a landslide. People who've never voted in their lives would register just to get her into the office. Now that's when the fun begins. Personally, I have no political views, but the idea of Taylor Swift becoming the president of the United States, for some reason it just doesn't feel that far-fetched. Number 7, Restauranteur. Over the last few days, the rumors that Taylor Swift is dating Kansas Chief tight end Travis Kelce have been running rampant, and they were actually spotted attending a Chiefs game, and of course she was spotted attending a few Chiefs games with Travis's mother and leaving the events with Travis. But those rumors were cemented as true and that they probably are a couple when Taylor decided to buy out and clear an entire restaurant for the day, while people were still eating their meals. According to several patrons of an unnamed establishment, they were happily eating their meals when they noticed that the waiters started slowly making their way around the room. When they approached the table, they were informed that their meal was paid for, but they would have to leave right then, right now. The patrons left, and when they returned later on, filled with curiosity, they discovered that it was Taylor Swift who kicked them out. Getting your meal paid for by a stranger sounds cool, but imagine how awkward that scenario is. Hi there, your meal's paid for, now get out please, just leave. Listen, I don't care who you are, if you wanted to have so much privacy, maybe just go home and order Popeyes, Uber Eats, anything else. Number 6, party Hardy. Taylor has a ton of A-list buddies that she spends her time with, but one woman who's been making headlines alongside Taylor has been Sophie Turner. Sophie, of course, is going through a very public divorce with one of Taylor's ex-boyfriends, Joe Jonas. The two of them are currently in a pretty public battle for the rights to their kids, and the divorce has brought several things to light that has caused the courts to force Joe and Sophie to do couples counseling while they try to figure out how to properly handle the situation. But instead of attending the classes and trying to keep her family together, it seems like Sophie has been out and about partying with Taylor Swift. Taylor is a terrible influence and has been living it up with Sophie for the past couple of weeks, apparently keeping each other occupied while Joe goes into a downward spiral. Sophie has accused Joe of a lot of stuff during this whole thing, and Taylor has just been standing there telling her that everything's fine and she's doing the right thing. Number 5, the profiter of pain. If there's one thing that Taylor Swift is famous for, it's taking tragedy and turning it into triumph. Her career is basically just built on the backbone of her broken relationships. Men like Harry Styles, Tom Hiddleston, and many more are set to be the inspiration for some honestly catchy songs. You can hate on her all you want, but I'll still be dancing to Shake It Off every time it plays. Just because the songs are good though doesn't always mean that the person who's inspired them is going to enjoy them. While some of her exes like Joe Alwyn have been pretty supportive when it comes to Taylor's writing, other people like Tom Hiddleston have not been so stoked. Taylor is clearly a sour topic for a lot of people. Even the happy-go-lucky Jake Gyllenhaal would rather not talk about his time with Taylor, and honestly we can't blame him. Imagine the worst breakup you've ever gone through in your entire life, and now imagine that it was a top 10 on Spotify. Your soul would be crushed. Number 4, Travis Kelce. This is the most recent entry to Taylor's library of possible partners. Travis Kelce is a football player for the Kansas City Chiefs, and Taylor was spotted attending one of his games a few weeks ago. So there was nothing out of the ordinary there, but then there was more. Taylor got spotted attending the event with his mom, literally sitting arm in arm together the entire night, and they've done that a couple of times now. Taylor was then photographed cheering him on from the sidelines, his mother just as excited as she was, and if that wasn't enough, they were later photographed walking out of the stadium together arm in arm. Now, this dude's been on podcasts talking about how he can't say much and not really specifying if he is or is not with Taylor. Only people hiding something say that, okay? As the weeks go by, we're gonna get more and more proof that this dude is dating Taylor, but for now, it's still just speculation. Number 3, transportation. There was a massive theory going around the internet as Taylor started her Eras tour, and people were wondering how it was possible for her to get around venues when there were crazed fans literally around every single corner. And not to mention, in order to get to the stage of most outdoor venues, you have to be exposed to the public even for the briefest of moments. But there was one common theme at all of her shows. The event staff were always seen pushing this tall janitor's cart back and forth before the show would begin. Now, the first red flag was the people pushing this thing had earbuds in their heads and they were wearing black t-shirts, not exactly janitor clothes, and eventually a fan was able to get the right angle and capture a moment when Taylor stepped out of the cart backstage. Not only did this confirm the rumor, but Taylor's secret vehicle had been outed to the world. Now, I'm not going to be attending the concert because I'm not that rich, but for those of you who are attending, keep an eye out for 2 people in black t-shirts pushing a random coffin around or something down the halls. Number 2, The Master. If you've ever purchased a ticket for something online, then you're probably no stranger to Ticketmaster. It's one of the most popular ticket purchasing programs on the planet. When it was announced in 2022 that Taylor would be doing this whole Eras World Tour thing, the ticket sales were insane. So insane that she single-handedly took that website down. Well, her fans did. So after the pre-sales went up for the Eras Tour, an astonishing 2.5 million Swifties got into their virtual queues and started ordering tickets. 2.5 million people is a ton of online foot traffic. Think about all those people going in at once to buy their tickets. 2.5 million people! Yeah, so the website glitched and millions of fans were unable to find or purchase their tickets. The glitch was eventually fixed and Ticketmaster took away one of the options for general tickets until the majority of the pre-sales had been gone. Now, Taylor wasn't directly responsible, but following the news, she said nothing except, oops, I didn't know, that's my bad. Yeah, she didn't care one single bit. She was just glad that her bank account was nice and full. Number 1, she can't swim. Taylor Swift knows how to put on a good show, okay? And this next entry just proves that sentence. During one of her first shows of the Era Tour in Glendale, Arizona, Taylor stood in front of her fans as a small hole opened up in the stage. She jumped in and a masterpiece in LED technology started to play. She jumped in and waves flowed across the stage as a bird's eye view showed her swimming from one end of the stage to the other. Granted, it's definitely not Taylor and it's just a projected image, but that's still neat, you know? That's why I said that she can't can't swim because she's not swimming, get it? The sequence ended with a large wave hitting the back of the stage, with Taylor appearing underneath a cloud in a new outfit as the waves vanished. Thankfully, it worked out on stage, as it was reported that during the rehearsals for the show, Taylor actually missed her mark a couple of times and belly flopped into the pool, which would have made for a pretty different show. And those are Taylor Swift's secrets that have been exposed. Do you enjoy these Taylor Swift breakdowns? Well, let us know by leaving a little like on this video and following the channel for more celebrity content every single day. Thanks for stopping beyond the screen, and we'll see you next time. Whee!